Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, due to the coronavirus disease or COVID-19, we from group 5 with the topic WASHBACK and feedback in language testing have to present from home because we just stay at home. So, my name is Yasmin Faradisa, and my friends Aina, Firdha, Lufiana, Fazillah, Egy Frinati will present our presentation through this video.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for the first part, I will explain the definition of washback. So as Hajjus in 2003 argued that a washback is the effect of testing on learning and teaching in large scale. The effects of the test have on instructions in terms of how students prepare for the test. So in a simple way, we can define washback as the influence or the effects of tests on learner and teacher behaviors and in classroom context. Jadi secara sederhananya untuk memahami washback ini kita mengambil contoh ujian nasional yang cukup banyak menyita perhatian semua kalangan, terutama pelajar juga stakeholders di lainnya. Nah, UN ini sendiri efeknya itu sangat besar sehingga ia memberikan pengaruh kepada siswa, kemudian kepada guru dan juga kepada penerapan pembelajaran di dalam kelas. Nah, efek dari UN ini yang menyebabkan adanya pengaruh-pengaruh pada siswa, guru dan juga pada kegiatan pembelajaran ini disebut dengan washback. Nah, dari pengertian ini dapat kita pahami bahwa ada beberapa faktor yang mempengaruhi suatu penilaian pembelajaran itu seperti misalnya ada prestige factors, yakni bagaimana status tes, kemudian status subject matter, kemudian perceptions of quality and the importance of the test. Kemudian ada juga faktor dari tes itu sendiri, bagaimana format tes itu, kemudian practicality dari tes tersebut, lalu juga ada accuracy score dan lain sebagainya. Lalu ada faktor ketiga adalah faktor dari people, yakni people factors. Jadi misalnya saja contoh dari people factors ini adalah misalnya seperti student anxiety-nya sendiri, terus juga student and parents awareness of the contents of the test. Kemudian juga adanya transparency of informations of the test to teachers, student, and parents. Lalu juga ada faktor terakhir dan faktor kurikulum, yakni antara kesesuaian dengan tes yang akan diujikan dengan kegiatan pembelajaran yang memang sedang dianut atau sedang digunakan dalam sistem pembelajaran. Jadi tes ini sesuai nggak dengan kurikulum yang diterapkan. Jadi itu kesesuaian antara kurikulum dan dengan tes yang akan diuji itu juga berpengaruh gitu, akan menentukan bagaimana washback bagi student dan teacher behaviornya. Nah, lalu juga bentuk lain dari contoh lain dari kurikulum factor ini juga bagaimana classroom activity dan alokasi waktu untuk setiap subjek ataupun aktivitas yang dilaksanakan. Nah, dari semua faktor tersebut akan berpengaruh bagi student, teacher, dan pembelajarannya sendiri. Nah, akan ada dua bentuk gitu pengaruh yang akan dihasilkan. Jadi bisa saja menghasilkan positive washback dan juga menghasilkan negative washback. Nah, untuk lebih jelasnya lagi terkait dengan two types of washback, it will be explained by my friend.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to talk about types of washback. There are type of washback. Two types of washback. The first one is negative washback. Alderson and Wall said negative washback define negative washback as the undesirable effect on teaching and learning of a specific test. And then the second one, types of washback. Positive washback. Positive washback test can provide beneficial change in teaching and learning, specifically in examination. Good examination can be designed and applied as effective teaching learning tasks and activities in order to encouraging a positive teaching learning process.
My name is Aina from Lufiana, so I'd like to explain about the component of WASHBACK. There are three components of WASHBACK: participant, process, and product. According to the Hughes 1993, participant includes learners and teachers, administrators, materials developers, researchers, and publishers. Besides, the term process covers any actions taken by participants which might contribute to the process of learning. The process includes material development, syllabus design, change in teaching methods or content, learning and or test-taking strategies. For example, the student use the target language skills, their study, learns, memorize, cheats, worry, and so on. The process for the teachers are what they teach, how they teach, intensity of the teaching, and additional materials, whereas the process of the program are changing curricula, scheduling the preparations classes, using new material, and canceling classes. And the last, products. Product refers to what is learned. It could be facts, skills, etc., and the quality of learning. For example, fluency. The product of WASHBACK includes change teaching, leading to increased interaction and studying and better learning, new materials, new course syllabus.
Hi, it's me Sarah. So here I would like to share you about how teachers provide feedback for students. As educator, it is very important to consistently relate the student performance to student use of feedback, reinforcing the students are in the control of their learning. When teacher provides feedback, it motivates the student and will engage them in the learning process. To accomplish this, students should do some tips or steps. Yeah. The first one is the teacher should provide the student the clear student learning objective. So it means it's very important to provide the learning objective in student friendly language. And the second one is to ensure students understand what success look like. So the students should know what the evidence of their learning will look like. For example, when you are teaching students about maybe to utilize the specific reading strategy. So the students should know that they will demonstrate to apply the strategy on an independent reading test. So the next one is, the first step is, no, it was the third. Yeah, the third is you have to use an appropriate formative assessment strategy. Assessment is something, yeah, it should be aligned to the goal. So if the goal is to apply reading strategy, so the assessment should encourage the student to apply that strategy. Okay, the fourth step is the fourth one is, yeah, you have to you have to involve the student. You have to student involved in self-assessment and reflection. So here you will need a rubric. Students will need a rubric, and the teacher should provide the rubric for students. So here student will be encouraged to to show or to share their ownership and their accountability. So they have to correction their own tasks, and students also encouraged to find their own mistakes. And definitely the rubric should be provided in students friendly language, of course. Okay, the next one is it's like a timely, yeah, you have to provide a timely feedback and appropriate instruction. Yeah, timely feedback is really important. So it's very important for feedback to occur in timely way before students move on, and and maybe possibly it become more confused. Yeah, and the last step is recess. Recess is like to recess is to know the student whether the student have mastered the learning objective or not. But we sometimes we skip this step. We might explain the student went wrong, and we assume he then understand. But it better if we take time to resist the student, to make sure that the student have a really understand about the learning objective.
The conclusion. The conclusion, WASHBACK. WASHBACK is refer to the effect of testing on the teaching and learning process. Better understanding of how WASHBACK occurs in teaching and learning process can help to inform target intervention. And then the feedback. The feedback is valuable when it is received, understood, and acted on. How students analyze, discuss, and action on. And a feedback is an important as the quality of the feedback itself. Through the interaction students have with feedback, they come to understand how to develop their learning. I think that's all for me, and then thank you so much for everything.
Here we go to the question and answer sections. Okay, the first question is, what is the connections between WASHBACK and intrinsic motivation, autonomy learning, and self-confidence? State some specific examples for it. The challenge to the teacher is to create classroom tasks that serve as learning device through which WASHBACK is achieved. While a teacher can suggest strategies for success as part of their coaching role, and WASHBACK enhances a number of basic principles of language acquisitions, intrinsic motivation, autonomy, self-confidence, language ego, inter-language strategic investment, and among others. Well, first, intrinsic motivation. When the learners are having self-rewarding, they perform tasks because it's fun, interesting, useful, challenging, and not because they anticipate some cognitive and affective rewards from the teachers. And autonomy learning, it was ability to take charge of one's own learning. Main idea behind the autonomy learning is learner autonomy is that students should to take the responsibility for their own learning rather than be dependent on the teacher. And how about the self-confidence? Self-confidence means the students believe that they indeed are fully capable of accomplishing a task. So the connections between all of them is because these principles part to promote the positive WASHBACK.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm Yasmin Faradisa and I'm trying to answer the second question. The question is, can tests provide negative WASHBACK? Okay. Based on the explanations before about types of WASHBACK, there are two types of WASHBACK, negative and positive WASHBACK. So it means it is possible, and yes, a test can provide negative WASHBACK. Hal-hal apa saja yang bisa memprovide a negative WASHBAck? Nah, seperti yang telah dijelaskan di bagian pertama tadi, ada 4 faktor yang berpengaruh terhadap WASHBAck yang akan memberikan pengaruh WASHBAck terhadap dari sebuah tes. Yang tadi ada prestige factors, kemudian test factors, kemudian ada people factors, kemudian juga ada curriculum factors. Nah, and there are also many language educators that believe tests have negative WASHBAck on the teaching and learning of language. Now, there are some aspects of negative WASHBAck. The first one is in teaching factors, where the teacher narrowed the curriculum and then the teacher stopped teaching new material and turned to reviewing material, and then teacher replace class textbook with worksheet that identical the previous year's test. Kemudian ada course content factors, yang mana suasana kelas itu menjadi test like, student applying test taking strategies in classroom, sehingga ini akan mampu menimbulkan suasana yang tidak begitu disukai siswa. Kemudian ada course characteristic factors, masih terkait dengan course content, misalnya saja seperti strategy, language learning, and language using yang inappropriate, sehingga kembali mengarah kepada classroom activities dan classroom atmosphere yang tidak begitu disukai siswa. Kemudian di course karakteristik ini juga termasuk seperti reading skill, yang mana misalnya harus lebih fokus kepada problem solving dan skill-skill lainnya, tapi ini malah menjadi terbelakangi karena preparation for test. Skill-skill yang seperti ini menjadi terbelakangi. Lalu juga ada kursus yang fokus dan menitik beratkan untuk meningkatkan nilai hasil tes, namun melupakan fungsi bahasa di dalam sebagai communication tools atau interaction tools, sehingga banyak skill-skill ataupun fokus-fokus lain yang seharusnya juga dipertimbangkan menjadi terbelakangi. Lalu ada faktor yang terakhir tuh ada class time factor, seperti banyaknya atau adanya additional class yang unscheduled untuk study task preparation. Jadi seperti review session untuk membahas task preparation itu. Jadi review session ini menyita banyak waktu dari waktu kelas reguler atau mata pelajaran wajib. Misalnya saja banyak kelas-kelas language class yang terskip karena fokus to study task preparation ini. Jadi akibatnya ya untuk waktu pembelajaran yang reguler itu sendiri banyak yang hilang. Nah, dari keempat faktor ini keempat faktor ini mampu mengarahkan atau memberikan pengaruh negatif gitu. Contohnya saja kita mengambil contoh UN yang seperti tadi UN. Jadi karena UN ini menjadi pusat perhatian besar, sehingga guru memberikan fokus, kemudian terus mengerahkan siswa untuk preparation test sebagainya, fokus mengejar tentang tes sehingga mengabaikan banyak pelajaran-pelajaran lain. Lalu juga karena preparation test ini kan terkesan terikat, kemudian terburu-buru, sehingga ini akan berpengaruh kepada student behaviornya, seperti si student akan merasa anxiety, kemudian dia akan merasa posisinya itu di bawah tekanan, berada di dalam tekanan, sehingga ini akan berpengaruh kepada performance siswanya. Kalau siswa ini beranggapan dia tidak lulus ujian nasional ini atau tidak lulus tes ini, maka segala sesuatu yang telah ia lakukan selama masa sekolah ini akan gagal. Nah, jadi itu akan menjadi tekanan tersendiri bagi si siswanya, sehingga ini menjadi negatif washback dari adanya proses penilaian pembelajaran seperti ini. So, tests that have negative washback is considered to have negative influence on teaching and learning process.